After heavy fights, 11 Hamas military outposts fell into the hands of IDF soldiers, which also surrounded Gazan hospitals. The most intense fighting on the northern border with Hezbollah. Benjamin Netanyahu rejects ceasefire calls, allowing humanitarian corridors. A U.S. nuclear-powered submarine is on the way to Israel. We'll talk about all of this and more. But first, 1 of every 3 children in Israel goes to sleep hungry. This report published even before the war started. So now the situation is much worse, as many families were displaced, left without any way to provide for themselves. Many families lost their main provider as the man was mobilized to serve in IDF in the war, south or north of Israel. With your help, we are giving poor families a chance to survive, especially through this rough time of war. We feed in the families in need every week. We're working with social worker to find the family, and once they joined our list, they will get food every week forever. I have to be honest with you, it isn't easy to run this ministry without Joel, since he'd been served in the IDF. He is the heart of this mission, and without him it is hard, especially when I don't have pickup truck to load all the boxes of food. Still, I will do anything and will find a way to deliver the food. This week I used plastic bags, and that way we were able to squeeze all the food in Miss Connie and Mr. Jerry's car. Also, I added just a little bit more oil, rice and canned goods, just in case something happens and next week I won't be able to reach those wonderful people. If you are still not involved in this important cause and want to be a part of this ministry, click the link underneath this video. You also can go to thegoldenreport.com, read about our ministry, and find a way to be a part of it. Together, let's make sure not even one child goes to sleep hungry. It is in our hands. Also, a great way to support this ministry is to share those videos with your church and your friends. It won't cost you a penny and be a great support for the nation of Israel. So now let's start. As the 5th week of Israel's war against Hamas begins, escalation on all fronts happen. On the northern border, the conflict with Hezbollah is the most intense since the Second Lebanon War in 2006. Sunday night, 12 rockets fired towards Kiryat Shmona, a large city in the northern border. 1 Israeli citizen was killed while his car was hit by Hezbollah anti-tank missile. Monday, more than 30 missiles were fired. The rest of the week was almost the same, but IDF mostly fired and killed the terrorist cells before they were able to launch rockets. Another front developing from Syria. Thursday, suicide drone exploded in a building in Eilat. No injuries, thank God. Later, Israel discovered it was Syria who was responsible for this attack. Inside Israel, IDF and police arrest terrorists and their supporters every day and night. Laws being changed, and now everyone who published anything inciting violence or supporting terrorism faces at least a year in prison. Security forces prevent many terror attacks, arresting the terrorists before they try to kill Jews. Still, on Monday, in Jerusalem, Arabs stabbed and killed Ros Elisheva. Ros Elisheva was a Magav policewoman who came from the States to serve in Israel. May her memory be blessed. In Tulkarem, special forces killed 4 terrorists, most of them Hamas, and 1 belongs to Palestinian Authority. By the end of the week, heavy combat was in Jenin. IDF found a terror tunnel and eliminated 15 terrorists, some of them reported to be from Palestinian Authority police. And here it's important to remember, all I hear is Hamas, Hamas, Hamas. But the only difference between Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, and Palestinian Authority is the ability. The intention is the same: destruction of the State of Israel, Jews, and later the West. Despite the international pressure, Benjamin Netanyahu rejects ceasefire, saying that there will be no pause until the hostages are released. Western leaders already talking about the number of Palestinian casualties, pressuring Israel to reconsider its actions. The West already forgotten what Israel is fighting against. Who are those barbaric monsters that promising to repeat 7th of October again and again? Israel warns Israelis not to travel, and if they do, to hide their Jewish identity. A sad reminder of the rise of anti-Semitism around the world. The pro-Hamas rallies around Europe and the USA growing like mushrooms after the rain. And common sense can't be heard. For example, people who just raised a sign that calls Hamas a terrorist organization were attacked by the crowd. In California, Paul Kessler, 69 years old, died after being attacked by pro-Palestinian crowd. Now let's talk about Gaza. IDF continue attacking Hamas targets on the ground and underground. During this week, IDF eliminated many commanders of Hamas. All of them were responsible for many terror attacks, and some were in the past in the Israeli prison. All were also involved in the 7th of October massacre. Finally, IDF started taking care of the hospitals in Gaza. We knew for many years terror organizations using schools, mosques, hospitals and ambulances for their combat purposes. In this video, you see how the hospital used to hide terrorists in the opening of one of the tunnels right next to it. Other hospitals used as well, and in Al Jazeera footage, which they rushed to delete later, you can see the militants inside the hospital. In this recorded phone call, Hamas terrorists admit using ambulances to transport the terrorists, weapons, and more because Israel won't bomb ambulances.
ولا شيء. طب ابعت لك اسعاف؟ لا يا اخوان عندي اسعافات قاعد اطلع معي اسعاف. يا عم في اسعاف يجيك ياخذك ينزلك على باب الدار. يا عمي ما انا في اسعافات بتطلع وبتنزل قادر اطلع مع اي اسعاف بس مش هذا الفكره. واذا مش قادر تحرك السياره وفيش عندك اسعافات كلمني على البدر عشان ابعت لك اسعاف. لا يا راجل بطلع معي اسعاف يا زلمه قاعدين بيطلعوا الاسعافات تتحرك.
خلال
الحرب
الحرب
لا شيء مهم يعني شغلات مهمه.
زي ايش؟
ايش مهم يعني قيادات ايش مكان اي شغله.
شو الحسنات بالنقل الاشخاص المهمه المسائل بسيارات اسعاف ومش بسيارات عاديه؟
كنا غالبا انها بتنقص قليل انها بتنقص.
Important to mention that terrorists mostly dressed like regular civilians, which makes IDF job much harder. Here you see how civilian dressed terrorists fighting IDF inside Gaza City. They also dress like press and medical workers. In this video, an armed terrorist was wounded by IDF fire. A Palestinian man dressed as medic runs to him. He simply came to take the weapon and hand it to other terrorists. Today, 36 days into the war and 2 weeks into the ground operation, IDF took over 11 Hamas outposts in North and Central Gaza. Israeli forces surrounding hospitals and fighting terrorists very close to the hospitals. With all the attempts of IDF to clear the war zone from civilians, which includes flyers, daily phone calls, social media platforms, and secure corridors we provide in every day, despite the desperate attempts of Hamas to hold on Gazans close to the war zone, including shooting their own people. So despite that, many thousand left North Gaza in the last days, still estimated that about 400,000 Gazans still hiding in North Gaza, including the hospitals. Now Israel facing hard decision. How can we operate inside hospitals we know full of Hamas militants mixed with civilian population they holding on as a human shield? We'll have to figure out that. From your comments, I noticed that you like Joel's messages from Gaza, so here is another short message from him.
Hey, we just came out of Gaza, back into Israel, just a few hundred yards in from the border, what used to be the border, what's left of the border of Gaza. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much. We love you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for allowing us to be able to continue to support and feed the people here in Israel. And hopefully when this war is over, we'll be able to come down and do something for these precious people who have suffered unspeakable horrors. And hopefully we can be able to be part of their solution and part of their return and part of a blessing for them. Also, something else we could do, something positive and interesting. If you guys have any questions that you think that I could answer, and of course I would only answer what I could, without putting any soldiers in harm or any plans in danger, write a comment. Ola can go through the comments and see what the questions are and let me know what they are. And the next time I have a few moments, I can make a short video and answer your questions. It could be an interesting thing to do from a soldier, being able to do that for you, for being a soldier here on the front lines in this war of Hamas and Israel. So we just wanted to say thank you from the IDF, right outside of Gaza. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys again for your care and support. I will continue keep you up to date, showing you what is going on in Israel. Please don't stop praying. Miracles happen in the war. I hear many stories that could happen only with God's help. So every prayer is vital. Please continue praying for the hostages, for the IDF soldiers, for the win of Israel. And I'll see you in the next video. God bless.